From the outside, everything in Rayan and Hania's home looked perfect. Their small house was filled with soft colors, warm lights, and the gentle laughter of their 10-year-old daughter. Era neighbors always said the same thing. This family is so lucky. They are made for each other. And for a long time, it was true. In the early years of their marriage, Rayan and Hania lived like two best friends who understood each other without speaking. They woke up with smiles, shared breakfast, talked about dreams, and planned a beautiful future for their daughter. Every evening. When Rayan returned from work, Era would run to the door shouting, "Papa!" He would pick her up, spin her around, and say, "My little star, how was your day?" Everything seemed peaceful and happy. But in real life, what appears perfect from far away often hides shadows no one can see. The first signs. Small, quiet, and unnoticed. First, the changes were tiny. Rayan started coming home late, not every day, just sometimes. When Hania asked why, he gave short answers. Work was heavy today. Meeting took longer. She believed him. After all, he'd always been responsible and hardworking. But soon, the silence between them became longer than the conversations. Hania would make dinner and wait at the table. Era would sit beside her mother, swinging her legs, trying to understand why her father wasn't home yet. When Rayan finally arrived, he would smile at his daughter but avoid looking into Hania's eyes. To most people, it looked normal. To Era, it felt different. Children notice everything, even the things adults try to hide. The distance slowly grew one Sunday afternoon. The three of them went to a park. It should have been a happy day. Era played on the swings, her laughter filling the air, but Rayan and Hania barely spoke to each other. They just stood there, pretending everything was fine. When they returned home, Hania asked softly, "Rayan, is something wrong?" Rayan forced a smile. "No, everything is okay. Just tired. Please don't think too much." But Hania felt something strange in his voice, something heavy, something he wasn't sharing. That night, she couldn't sleep. Rayan slept beside her, but the distance between them felt larger than the space on the bed. Era, in the next room, hugged her pillow. She didn't understand the silence, but she felt it pressing on her small heart. A house full of love. Turning quiet days turned into weeks. The home that once echoed with stories, jokes, and dreams slowly filled with silence. Small things started happening. They stopped watching movies together. They stopped telling each other how their day was. They stopped holding hands during evening walks. Their smiles looked practiced, not real. Era tried to bring joy back. She drew pictures and stuck them on the fridge. She said silly jokes to make them laugh. She sat between them on the sofa, hoping they would sit closer. But even she couldn't fix what she didn't understand. The silent nights one night. Era woke up to drink water. When she passed the living room, she saw her mother sitting alone in the dark. Hania was staring at an old family photo, her eyes filled with sadness. Era stepped forward. But Hania quickly wiped her tears and said, "Go back to bed, sweetheart. Mama is fine." But Era had seen it. She knew something was breaking. She went back to her room and whispered to herself, "Why is everything changing?" As the days passed, the silence inside the house grew heavier, almost like a fog that refused to lift. Hania tried to act normal, but her eyes looked tired, and her smile seemed weaker than before. Rayan, on the other hand, looked distracted all the time, as if his mind was stuck somewhere far away. Era watched everything closely. She didn't know the full story, but she felt something was wrong. Terribly wrong. One evening, when the sun was setting and the house glowed with soft orange light, Era sat at the dining table, drawing in her notebook. Rayan was in the study room, and Hania was in the kitchen preparing tea. It looked like a normal evening, but it wasn't. A strange change in routine for the past few weeks. Rayan had started keeping his phone very close to him. He would put it on silent mode, face down, and never leave it unattended. Every time the screen lit up, he quickly grabbed it before anyone else could see. Hania noticed. She wasn't the type to spy, but even an innocent heart feels fear when something doesn't seem right. One night, she asked softly, "Rayan, Why are you hiding your phone these days? Rayan froze for 1 second. Just one. But it was enough for her to understand that something was not normal. He quickly replied, I'm not hiding anything. It's just work. You know how it is? She didn't know. Because nothing about his behavior looked like just work. Whispers in the night. Tara had trouble sleeping these days. Their quiet house was no longer comforting. Sometimes she woke up at night and heard soft voices coming from her parents' room. Not arguments, just whispers. Tense, broken whispers that made her small heart feel heavy. One night, she heard her father say, We should have told her before. It was a mistake to hide it, her mother replied, voice trembling. She is too young. She won't understand. Era pressed her ear closer to the wall. She didn't know who she was. She didn't know what it meant. But she sensed it was about her. She went back to bed with tears in her eyes, hugging her pillow tight, the message that changed everything the next morning. Something unexpected happened. Rayan forgot his phone at home. He realized after leaving for work, but it was too late. The phone lay silently on the coffee table, screen dark. Hania saw it when she was cleaning. She felt her chest tighten. Should she look at it? Should she ignore it? For years she trusted him with closed eyes. But now that trust felt fragile. She sat on the sofa, staring at the phone. Her hands trembled. After a long minute of hesitation, she finally picked it up. The screen lit up instantly. A notification appeared. Just one message. Just one line. But that one line was enough to break the remaining peace inside her heart. The message said, Did you tell her the truth yet? No name, no details. Just a question that felt like a storm waiting to explode. Hania's breath caught. Tell who? Tell what truth? Who was sending this message? Her mind raced through 100 thoughts. She wasn't angry. She was scared. Scared of the unknown, the secret from the past that night. When Rayan returned home, he immediately noticed the phone in Hania's hand. His face changed. His shoulders stiffened. Did you read something? He asked quietly. Hania looked at him with eyes full of confusion and hurt. What are you hiding from me? What truth are you supposed to tell? Rayan didn't answer immediately. He sat down, head lowered, hands shaking slightly. Era stood near the stairs, watching silently. She could feel something huge was happening, but she didn't dare speak. Finally, after a long, painful silence, Rayan whispered, It's about something that happened many years ago. Something I hoped would never return. Hania's heart dropped. What happened? She asked, voice breaking. Rayan didn't respond. His silence was louder than any answer. The morning after the strange message, the house felt colder than usual. It wasn't the weather. It was the tension, thick, sharp, and impossible to ignore. Era sat quietly at the breakfast table, drawing circles on her plate with a spoon. Hania kept looking at Rayan, waiting for him to speak, but he avoided her eyes. He behaved like a man carrying a storm inside. Finally, before leaving for work, he said softly, We'll talk tonight, I promise. But his voice didn't sound like a promise. It sounded like fear. When he closed the door behind him, the silence returned. Era's growing worry. Era went to school, but couldn't concentrate. She kept remembering the whispered words she heard through the wall, and the message her mother found. She didn't know what truth meant, but she felt it had something to do with her. Children sense danger even when adults try to hide it. When she returned home, she saw her mother sitting on the sofa, holding the same phone in her hand, as if waiting for it to reveal more answers. Mama? Era asked gently. Did something happen? Hania forced a smile. No, sweetie. Everything is okay. But Era knew it wasn't true. Her mother's smile didn't reach her eyes anymore. The second message evening arrived slowly, like a shadow stretching across the house. Rayan still hadn't come home. His phone beeped again. Hania froze. Another message. From the same unknown contact. You can't hide it forever. She will ask one day. Hania felt her hands turn cold. Era, sitting nearby, saw her mother's reaction. What happened? Who is sending these? Era asked, her voice small. Hania shook her head, trying to stay calm. It's nothing important. but deep inside she felt a fear she could not explain. Who was she in the message? Was it her or their daughter? The questions ate at her. Rayan's strange return around 10 p.m. Rayan entered the house. He looked exhausted, like he had been running from something, not physically, but mentally. Hania stood up immediately. "Rayan, we need to talk now," he sighed heavily. "I know, but it's not what you think." Hania stepped closer. "Then tell me what it is." Era watched from the staircase again, her heart racing. Rayan sat down, covering his face with his hands, stayed silent for a long time. Then he finally spoke. "There's something from my past. Something I never told you? Not because I wanted to hide it, but because I was scared it would destroy everything." Hania felt her knees weaken. "What did you hide?" Rayan looked up slowly, his eyes red. "It's about someone I knew. Before you, something happened. Something I hoped would never come back." He didn't finish the sentence. Hania waited. He didn't continue. That silence cut deeper than any truth. The photograph the next day. While cleaning Rayan's study room, Hania found a small envelope hidden behind books. She would never normally touch his things. But desperation pushed her. Inside the envelope was a photograph. The picture showed a young woman someone Hania did not recognize. Standing beside her was Rayan, looking younger, happier, strangely connected to the woman. On the back of the photo, one sentence was written, "Someday she will know." Hania felt her breath stop. Who was this woman? Why was Rayan keeping this photograph hidden? Why was someone messaging him now? Was the truth connected to her? Or to Era? Era's fear grew stronger that night. Era gathered courage and walked into her parents' room. "Papa, Mama? Are you fighting because of me?" Both parents turned to her instantly. Rayan tried to smile. "No, sweetheart." "What?" "Not because of you." But Era noticed something painful. Her father's eyes trembled. "If it's not because of me," she whispered, "then why do you look sad all the time?" Rayan's heart broke. He couldn't say anything. He stood up and left the room, unable to face her. Era looked at her mother with teary eyes. "Mama, what truth is Papa talking about?" Hania pulled her close, hugging her tightly. "I don't know, Era. But we will find out." But even Hania did not believe her own words anymore. The air inside the house felt heavier than ever. Even the walls seemed to listen, waiting for something to break. Rayan walked around quietly, avoiding both Hania and Era. His eyes stayed low, his steps slow, and his voice silent. Hania, on the other hand, felt a storm building inside her. The photograph, the messages, the whispers, everything pushed her closer to the edge. She needed answers. She deserved answers. And that night, she could no longer hold it inside. The confrontation begins. It was almost midnight. So the house was dark except for a dim light in the living room. Era was in her room, pretending to sleep but fully awake. She sensed something coming, something big. Hania stood in the living room, holding the photograph in her hand. When Rayan walked in, she didn't speak. She just held the picture up and looked at him. Rayan froze. His face went pale. "Where did you find that?" he whispered. "Does it matter where?" Hania shot back. "Tell me who she is." Rayan swallowed hard. "Hania, please, not tonight." Hania stepped closer, voice shaking but strong. "No, tonight is the night. I need the truth." For a moment, Rayan looked like he might collapse, sat down slowly, covering his face. But his silence was no longer an answer. It was a confession of something hidden, something heavy. "Was she someone you loved?" Hania asked, her voice cracking. Rayan didn't answer. The silence hurt more than the truth. Era hears the fight from upstairs. Era heard the rising tension. She sat on the edge of her bed, hugging her teddy bear tightly. Every sound from downstairs made her heart beat faster. She heard her mother shout, "Why didn't you tell me? Why hide it for so many years?" And then her father's broken voice. "I was scared. Hania, I didn't want to lose you." Lose her, lose the family? Era's small hands trembled, her chest tightened. She didn't understand everything, but one thought kept repeating in her head. Is this happening because of me? The truth almost revealed back in the living room. Hania's patience snapped. Rayan, I saw the messages. Someone is telling you to reveal the truth. What truth? Are you involved with this woman again? Rayan looked up sharply. No, it's not like that. Then what is it? Hania cried. Rayan's voice broke. She has nothing to do with us now. Nothing. This is from the past. Then why is she sending messages? Why is she saying she needs to know? Rayan shook his head. It's not her sending the messages. It's someone else. Who? He hesitated. That hesitation told her he was still hiding something. I can't say it yet, he whispered. I need time. Hania's eyes filled with tears. You had years, Rayan. Years. And you stayed quiet. The breaking point suddenly, Rayan stood up. His voice raised for the first time. I was trying to protect this family. I didn't want the past to enter our lives again. Hania fired back, but it already has. Your silence brought it into this home. Their voices clashed like thunder. Era couldn't take it anymore. She ran downstairs, tears streaming. Stop, she cried out. Her parents turned in shock. Era stood there, shaking. Are you fighting because of me? Did I do something wrong? Hania rushed to her, hugging her tightly. No, sweetheart, no, it's not you. But Era could feel her father's tension. She saw the guilt in his eyes. Children understand what adults hide. Papa, she whispered, what truth are you hiding? Rayan stepped back like her words had hit him. He opened his mouth to answer. But the words didn't come. Rayan walks out. The pressure became too much for him.
Oh,
Rayan grabbed his keys with trembling hands. I need to clear my head, he said. I'll come back. Hania tried to stop him. Rayan, please don't walk away. But he pulled his hand free. Era cried, Papa, don't go. Rayan looked at them one last time, eyes full of pain, then walked out the door. The sound of the door closing echoed through the house like a crack in glass. Era fell into her mother's arms, sobbing. Hania held her tightly, but felt something inside her breaking too. The night Rayhan walked out, the house felt painfully silent. Every corner held the echo of their fight. Every shadow felt heavier than before. Hania sat on the sofa holding Era, gently stroking her hair as the little girl cried herself to sleep. Hania's heart broke a little more with every tear Era shed. She whispered, It's not your fault, my love. It's not you. But even she didn't believe her own words anymore. The morning after the fight, Trayan didn't return that night. Or the next morning, Hania checked her phone again and again, but found nothing. No message. No call. No sign of him. She tried calling him once. It went straight to voicemail. Era sat at the dining table, staring at her untouched breakfast. Her eyes were red from crying, her face pale from fear. Mama, she asked quietly, is Papa coming back? Hania forced a smile she didn't feel. Yes, sweetheart. He just needs some time. But Era didn't believe it. Something inside her whispered that things were about to get worse. Era tries to understand later that day. Era sat alone in her room. She looked at the drawings on her wall, pictures of her family smiling together. She touched one of the drawings and felt a sharp pain in her chest. If we were happy before, she whispered, then what changed? She remembered the message her mother saw. She will ask one day, was she? Her? Was she the problem in their lives? The thought hurt more than anything she had ever felt before. Rayan returns. But everything feels different late in the evening. The door finally opened. Rayan stepped inside slowly, like a man entering a place he feared. He looked tired, defeated, and older than before. Hania stood up immediately. Where were you? She asked gently. I just needed space, he replied, avoiding her eyes. Hania didn't argue. She didn't have the strength anymore. But Era ran to him and hugged him tightly. Papa, please don't leave us again, she cried. Rayan hugged her back, his eyes filling with tears. I won't leave you, he said softly. I promise. Promises were no longer enough. The question that shook him after dinner. When the house became quiet again, Era entered the living room. Rayan was sitting there alone, staring at the floor. He didn't look up when she came in. She stood in front of him, her small hand shaking. Papa, can I ask you something? She whispered. Rayan nodded slowly. Yes, my angel. What is it? Era hesitated for a moment, gathering courage. Then she asked the question that broke him completely. Is it my fault? Rayan's head snapped up. His eyes widened. His mouth fell open. Everything inside him shattered at once. What? He whispered, almost shocked. Why would you say that? Era's voice trembled. Because, ever since I grew older, you and Mama started fighting more. You started hiding things. You changed. The messages said she will know one day, and I thought maybe that she is me. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Papa, am I the reason everything is breaking? Those words hit Rayan like a knife. He felt his heart crush under the weight of guilt, fear, and years of silence. He knelt down in front of her. No, no, Era. You are not the reason. You are never the reason. You are the best thing in our lives. But Era looked away. If that's true, then why are you scared to tell Mama the truth? Why do you hide things? Why do you look sad when you look at me? Rayan froze. Hania had been watching from the doorway, silent tears running down her face. This was it. The moment he avoided for years, the question no child should ever ask, and now he could no longer escape. The beginning of the truth, Rayan took a deep breath. I never wanted you to feel this pain. I never wanted you to think anything was your fault. Ara stared at him, waiting. Hania stepped closer. Then Rayan, please, tell us. What is the truth? Rayan looked at both of them, his wife. His daughter realized he could no longer protect anyone through silence. It's time, he whispered, voice shaking. You both deserve to know everything. Era's heart pounded. Hania held her breath. Rayan continued. The truth is not about a mistake. It's not about betrayal. It's about something that happened long before you were born. Something that changed my life forever. His voice cracked. And the truth is, it's not your fault, Era. It's mine. A heavy silence filled the room. The secret was finally about to come out. The room grew silent. So silent that even the ticking clock felt too loud. Rayan sat between his wife and daughter, shoulders heavy, eyes full of years of unspoken pain. Era wiped her tears as she waited. Hania stood completely still, afraid of what she was about to hear. Rayan took a long, shaky breath. I should have told you both a long time ago, he began quietly. But I was scared. I thought the truth would destroy everything. Gah, whispered Rayan. Just tell us. He nodded slowly. The past he tried to forget before I met you, Hania. Before our family, I was engaged to someone. Hania's eyes widened. Era's breath caught. Rayan continued. Her name was Alina. We were together for 3 years. We planned to get married. We were young and hopeful. He paused, his voice trembling. But something terrible happened. Hania sat down beside Era, holding her daughter tightly. One night, Rayan said softly, Alina and I were driving back from a family dinner. It was raining. The road was slippery. A truck came from the wrong side. He swallowed hard, and the car crashed. Era's small hand reached for her father's arm. He closed his eyes. I survived, he whispered, but she didn't. Silence froze every corner of the room. I blamed myself for years, even though the police said it wasn't my fault. I felt it was. I thought I didn't deserve happiness after that. I thought I didn't deserve a family. Era's lips trembled. Papa, he continued. When I met you, Hania, I fell in love again. You brought light back into my life. But I never told you about Alina. I was scared you would look at me differently. Hania felt tears fill her eyes. Rayan, you should have trusted me. I made a mistake. The photo and the message of Sarah looked at the picture lying on the table. Then who sent the messages, Papa? She asked. Rayan rubbed his forehead tiredly. I recently met Alina's younger sister by accident in the city. She saw me and asked why I never told my family about Alina. She believed I was trying to erase her sister from my life. But that's not true, Hania said softly. No, Rayan agreed. It isn't. But she didn't understand. She started sending me those messages. She wanted me to tell the truth. She thought it would make me finally accept the past. Hania whispered, "Why didn't you just tell me when she sent the first message?" "Because I panicked," he confessed. "I didn't want you to think I had feelings for someone else. And I didn't want Era to fear anything. But hiding only made it worse." Era looked down. "So, the messages were not about me?" Rayon shook his head firmly. "No, my angel. Never about you." Era's wound opens, "But then why did I feel like everything was falling apart because of me?" she asked, voice breaking. Rayon pulled her into his arms. "It's because I failed to protect you from my pain. I hid the past instead of healing from it. That silence hurt all of us. And I am sorry. Truly sorry." Era cries in his arms, her heart releasing the fear she had carried for so long. Hania wiped her tears. "You should have shared this burden with me, Rayon." "We are a family." "I was weak," he whispered. "I didn't want my past tragedy to destroy our present. As the family comes together, the three of them sat close, holding on to each other, their pain, their love, their fears all mixing into one emotional moment. Era finally looked up at him. "Papa, you didn't lose your right to be happy. You have us now. We are here." Hania nodded. "And we're not going anywhere." For the first time in days, Rayon allowed himself to breathe. "It wasn't your fault, Era," he said again. "It was never your fault. I promise." Era hugged him tightly. "I just want my family together." "You always had it," Hania said gently. "We just forgot how to talk." A new beginning that night. For the first time in weeks, the house felt warm again. Not perfect because healing takes time, but warm, honest, and real. Rayan finally let go of the guilt he had carried for years. Hania forgave him with understanding. And Era, the little heart caught in the middle, finally learned the truth. Sometimes families break not because of the children, but because adults keep silent for too long. The secret was out. The pain was shared, and the healing finally began.